Hi guys, this is another DIY on creating a comic book wall inside one of your bedrooms or maybe in a man cave that you could have. As you can see, I've created one row using vinyl J-channel pieces. These are used to support the bottom of the comic book so it doesn't fall. And then it has a top piece as well, just to make sure that the comic book does not fall forward. So as you can see here, this is a J channel that I've purchased. So this will be used as I mentioned, to house the comic book. And the first step that is required is verifying how long do you need to run this J channel. So you need a measuring tape to verify how long you'll need it. And then we can go from there. So I have this big Age of Apocalypse metal piece here. It's about 40 by 36. So what I'm gonna do, or it could be bigger than that. So what I'm gonna do is I want to keep that piece as part of my wall. So I'm gonna have to measure the entirety of the length of the wall minus that, minus the Age of Apocalypse piece, and that'll give me a length of how long the J channel should be for that particular section. So the measured delta that I found from the wall to the Age of Apocalypse piece is about 44 inches. So I'm going to leave a mark here with my pencil, and I'm going to mark it 44. Now that I've placed my marker for the 44 inches, now we have to go ahead and cut this piece. So you have a couple options. You can use, the easiest option is a J-channel cutter, which you'd probably have to buy it at a store like Home Depot or Lowe's. You can use a razor blade. The only thing you have to be careful with a razor blade is because you can bend the piece. So as you're cutting it, you're forcing it down, so it's gonna cut easy. What I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use a soldering iron, and that way I don't have to apply force. Although I may have to sand it afterwards, since it might bubble up at the edges. So this is the result after cutting it with the solder iron. So here's a soldering iron. So as you notice, there is some residue, so I'll probably have to sand that down. This is the other end. And then we'll go ahead and cut the other piece, which is the other 44 inches. So now I have both my pieces. They're both 44 inches. And what I'm going to do is now mount them onto the wall. So this is what they're going to look like once they're mounted on the wall. And here I have my template. So this is my template. So once the bottom of the cardboard piece here meets the bottom of this bottom J channel, and the top of the cardboard piece meets the top of the J channel on the top J channel piece, that's the amount of length I need in order for the comic book to be able to be placed into the J channels, and also to be able to take it out. So they're not going to be in a fixed position. So if you wanted to take them out and read it, then you're more than then you can do so. So I'm just going to show you as an example for the one that I've created up here. So I'm going to grab this comic, as you can see, taken out easily and put back in easily. So I ended up cutting the bottom of the lip to a little bit above 1/4 of an inch. So that's what I would recommend you do. What I have here is, again, my example. I shifted my template around and then moved the comic book as well. So what I would do is I would try to see if it goes in and goes out easily. Well, not easily, but without stressing the comic book. So you see it goes in. Shift this out again. There you go. So it came out after shifting it all. So I just have to make sure that when I mount it, that I mount the top piece right against the bottom piece of the first row. And then when I mount the second channel, J channel, that I use this cardboard as a reference into where I'm gonna put the screws in. So I'm gonna be using these focus in these drywall screws to mount the J channels onto the wall. So that will be my next step. So this is the newest row that I've added in here. So there's a slight difference in the height of the J channel lips. So as you notice, this is my newer J channel here, and it's a little longer than the one that I used on the top row. But that's fine. It's just aesthetics. I could always cut this a little bit more if I wanted to. This section here, just to make it look similar, but it's just adding more work, and it's not really taking away too much from the comic book art. So when I finish adding in all the other J channels for the rest of my wall, I'll go ahead and I will add that to this video.